Alright, folks. We've begun the stream now. How's everybody doing? Alright, let's grab a clearance. This is FedEx5220. Stansted ground, FedEx5220 ATIS Hotel. Stand 213 requesting IFR to Dublin. Dublin, Stansted ground, FedEx5220.
Control, Roger, say.
Stansted ground, FedEx5220. That's weird because I could hear London Center. we standing by. So if I switch over to 27105.
Chanix 14 November uniform, London Control, good morning, squawk 5.
Yeah, so I can hear London Control, but I can't hear ground yet.
FedEx 5220, that's the ground radio check.
FedEx 5220 got you loud and clear. We got Atis Hotel, stand 213 requesting IFR to Dublin.
FedEx 5220, thank you, clear to Dublin, NUGBO 1 Romeo departure, squawk 7261.
Clear to Dublin via NUGBO 1 Romeo departure, squawk 7261, FedEx 5220.
FedEx 5220, read back correct. So the Stansted QNH is 100, question 1014, and just confirm your aircraft type.
Copy 1014, aircraft type 777-200, FedEx 5220.
FedEx 5220, thank you.
Alright, let's get the APU rocking. And we'll do our briefing now. Alright, so it'll be a right seat takeoff. Aircraft is in good shape, no MELs. Predicted taxi route, push out off of stand 213, taxi out on Zulu, right turn Juliet, left turn Papa, right turn on Hotel, hotspot number 2 for runway 22. We'll probably take Sierra, but a hotspot 2. Let's take a look at that real quick. Here it is, sorry. Hotspot number 2. So that covers 2 runway entry points in close proximity. Copy that. We'll be eyes outside once we get past Bravo on Hotel. We're doing a NUGBO 1 Romeo departure. The weather here is pretty good to get back in if we need to on the ILS. We'll take the ILS if we need to come back in. Runway length, we have 10,003 feet available, planning a flaps 5 departure, D-rated. On departure, if you get any bells or horns prior to 80 knots, I'll go ahead and reject. Anything above that, but prior to V1, I'm only going to reject for engine failure, engine fire, fire warning, predictive wind shear, or if the airplane is not going to fly. V1 and above, we're committed to flight at that plane. I'll fly the airplane, we'll take it airborne, and treat it as an in-flight emergency. I'll handle the aircraft as well as ATC. Back me up this checklist. Single engine out, just take it straight out, heading 223. Minimum vectoring altitude is 2,100. I did check that in the references here. 2,100 is the highest. Highest obstacle 920. That's way south. That's west of the Brookmans Park VOR. Again, we're doing the NUGBO 1 Romeo departure off of runway 20. Transition altitude is 6,000 feet for flight level 60. It's climbing straight out off runway 22. We'll plan LNAV and VNAV all the way up. Got the D221 Charlie at above 850, D169H, D169 Echo at above 3, D169 Bravo at 4,000, NUGBO at 4,000. And we've got the Mike 183 to SILVA, Papa 86 to DIDZA, November 14 to OKSAW, then direct to BIBPE, direct to MEDOG, direct to LANON, and then Lima 18 to ABLIN for the arrival into Dublin. That matches with all the fixes on here. MSA 1800. And that's pretty much it. That's all I got. Anything significant in the run marks? When instructed, contact director, line of control, report the crossing altitude, the SID designator, current altitude, and initial cleared. Okay, that sounds good. For us, I put 4,000 because that's NUGBO. Do not interaction with other routes. Do not climb above 4,000 feet. No turns below 850.
Right, push and start, approved. Bravo.
Max 250 below 10 unless otherwise directed by ATC. And that is all I got. Let's bring this back up for the taxi. AP is probably on already. Let's disconnect that. APU running, and we have a comm. Let's see. New messages. We can cancel that, we don't need that. Okay, pre-flight checklist. Oxygen tested 100%. Flight instruments checked. Heading 042, 042. Altimeters, or QNH is 1014. I got 350 on my side, 350 on the left side. Standby is 350 and also 042. Parking brake. Let's go ahead and set that. Park brake set. And fuel control switches are cut off. I'm not going to read the green ones if it's already checked out or check marked. So there's a before start checklist, and let's bring the doors here. And we'll say we got our numbers. CG 325 and 136. And we will set that up here in a second, but VNav, that looks fine to me. Route data, request our winds. Then we'll get our doors closed and get our push clearance. Hey, what's cracking, man? Ready to load. We'll load that all up. Activate, execute. Should also have the forecasted winds. Request is sent. Should be arriving here shortly. Alright, descent forecast uplink ready, load. Once it loads it up, we'll execute it. Or I guess we don't have to. Perfect. And VNav, make sure altitude is still 320. Yep. Cool. That sounds good to me. Let's get our flight directors on. And LNAV and VNav. And GSX. Prepare for pushback. Waiting for the GPU. Stable sun's on, fuel pumps coming on. Pressurizing. Beacon is on. Just waiting on the doors to close, and we'll get the checklist running. Close entry 1.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
There's got to be a way for GSX to do that. Interrupt pushback? No.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Alright, doors. Okay, they're all closed now, so they actually did it automatically, alarm them. Okay, that's good.
Locking gear.
So the safety zone is now clear, pushback is in position. And let's run through the checklist real quick. TCAS is off. Or throw that on. Alright, doors are closed. Okay. Before start checklist, actually one thing we need to do is 3.25. We need to throw that into the trim. Okay, 3.25, there it is. Oh, we need to remove the chocks too. Alright, remove chocks. We do have the brakes set.
Release parking brakes, please.
Not releasing the parking brake just yet. Alright guys, just give us a sec. We're gonna run through a checklist real quick and we'll get back to you. Alright, MCP is set V2.
Ryanair
Is
228
136,
holding
heading
Romeo
223,
1,
initial
runway
altitude
22
4,000.
via Bravo Hotel
Takeoff
Bravo.
speeds, V1 125, VR 129, V2 136. CD pre-flight completed, trim, units 3.25, set, taxi takeoff briefing completed. 4-star checklist complete. Check the doors again, we're good on that. Doors auto, okay. Stansted ground, FedEx 5220, heavy, stand 213, ATIS Hotel, requesting pushback and start.
FedEx 5220, stand 213, push and start approved, Zulu middle line.
Push and start approved, Zulu middle line, FedEx 5220, heavy. Alright. How do we change direction? Let's see, quick edit push. On the map. That's a good thing we didn't do that because that's not the one we wanted.
Release parking brakes, please.
Brakes released, clear to push, Zulu middle line.
All engines clear. Start at will.
See if it does what we programmed it to do. We're going to start up engine number 2. Here comes 2.
Ryanair 228, contact under control now, 127.105, goodbye.
127.105, Ryanair 228, instrument traffic warning, is it?
Got a good start on 2. We'll start 1 once the pushback is complete.
Please set parking brakes.
Parking brake
Waiting your
is
confirmation for a good engine start.
set. We got got a good engine start on 2. You guys are cleared to disconnect. Have a great day.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start.
Oh,
You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
here comes engine 1, by the way. One's coming.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Appreciate your hard work, guys. We'll
Left
see you
is
guys later.
clear. Right is clear.
Stansted ground, good day, Blue Max 65, Mike Tango.
Okay, we got a good start on 1.
81, May 800, information hotel. Crescent House, clearance to destination, please.
Waiting for them to clear. Got 3 rampant, at least 3. Pin in the bag.
Mike, Stansted ground, good morning, cleared to Edinburgh, Utah 1 Romeo departure.
Alright, she's got the pin.
Blue Max
She's got to
65,
show
Mike
it to
Tango,
us.
is that calling?
Then we'll go ahead and do the before taxi checklist.
65, Mike Tango.
Or not. You know what? I think she showed it to us in the front. Yeah. Okay, before taxi checklist. Anti-ice. On recall.
Pogrica via the Clacton 2
Checked.
departure,
Flight controls.
6314. Clear to destination Clacton 2 Echo 6314, Blue Max 65, Mike Tango.
Standing by flaps, flaps 5 please.
Is correct. Stansted QNH is 1014 and just
Flight
confirm your
controls
aircraft type.
checked. Ground equipment clear. Before taxi
Stansted
checklist complete.
800 and the QNH is 1014, Blue Max 65, Mike Tango.
We'll wait for our takeoff flaps to get into position, then we'll call ground. Alright, for takeoff checklist, flaps are 5. Stansted ground, FedEx 5220 heavy, ATIS Hotel, ready taxi.
FedEx 5220, taxi holding point Sierra 1, runway 22 via Zulu, Juliet, Papa, Hotel and Sierra.
Taxi holding point Sierra 1, runway 22 via Zulu, Juliet, Papa, Hotel, and Sierra. FedEx 5220 heavy. Okay, holding point Sierra 1, Zulu, Juliet, Papa. So Zulu, right turn on Juliet, left turn onto, or sorry, left turn onto Juliet, right turn Papa, and then sorry, this is Zulu. We're on Zulu. So left turn onto Juliet, then right turn on Papa, then Hotel. Okay, that's a left turn, so we're clear, left and right. Coming left.
Max 5 Delta Mike, read back correct. It's information India, Stansted QNH 1014.
It's a little bit of a curveball if you're not paying attention, so.
FedEx 5220 made a wrong turn to the left, so if you take the next right and then right turn onto Hotel.
Sorry about that, we'll make the next right, then a right turn onto Hotel FedEx 5220. Oh, I know what I did wrong. I have it zoomed in too much. That's a possible pilot deviation right there. Hey, that's why we have 2 pilots on these airplanes, right? Some cases 3, some cases 4. Alright, now we're in hotel. So we're supposed to make a right turn Juliet, then Papa, then hotel. Alright, train radar is coming on. So now we're going Hotel Sierra holding point Sierra 1. Also, our minimum takeoff, by the way, is 30.7. We got 31.8. Plenty of extra gas. Alright, this left turn is Quebec. It's not this one, it's not the next one,
5 Delta Mike,
but the
stand
one after
to
that will
right,
make a left.
push and start approved. It will be, oh, there's only one line.
Push start approved, and go back to 5 Delta Mike.
FedEx 5220, contact London Control now, 127.105. Goodbye.
127.105 FedEx 5220. Goodbye. $27,105. Alright, this one is
I think it's Golf Bravo India Victor Kilo calling. You're very weak. Readability 2.
here's this one right here. Sierra, left turn Sierra, holding point Sierra 1.
Golf Victor Kilo, I see you on the ground at Oxford. I'm going to close up shortly actually, so you can switch to Unicom 122.8. Good day. Golf 2231, you can monitor Unicom. Good day.
See Unicom, Golf 2231, have a good morning.
And all stations, London Control is now closed. Switch to Unicom 122.8. Enjoy your Sunday. Bye.
122.8. London Control is closed. Let's make sure that we don't have anybody else online. We do not. Alright, let's verify that final is clear. Final is clear. Let's rock and roll. Let's actually ask ground. I want to ask him first, actually, because I heard that Ryanair earlier that was on that frequency. 12173 still. $121.73. Grab FedEx5220. Looks like London control is offline now. Did you, are you controlling the departures out of here or just ground?
FedEx 5220, yeah, it looks like they've just logged off. Just ground for me, so if you want to go to monitor Unicom 122.8, can't see anything on finals, but that's your next frequency. Have a good flight.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for your help, FedEx5220. We'll see ya. 22, let's turn the APU off. We don't need that. Alright, let's go. Finals also clear. Clear left and clear right, clear for takeoff. Stansted, make sure we're actually on 22. Stansted traffic, FedEx 5220 heavy, departing runway 22, Stansted. And I see 22, that's verified. Let's rock and roll. Alright, set takeoff thrust, please. Thrust set, 80 knots.
V1.
Rotate. Positive rear landing grip. Set speed, climb thrust. Flaps 1, please. Speed, LNAV, VNAV path. Three for 4. Flaps up, please. After takeoff checklist. $4,000 feet in the right turn now. Let's go autopilot on, please. AP's on. After takeoff checklist complete. And we'll be sitting right here at 4 for a while. Hey man, what's your question? You said direct to? If I wanted to go direct to a waypoint on here, is that what you're asking? Or in the flight plan? And here we go into the legs page. If I wanted to go direct to NUGBO, we'd click NUGBO. Let me just put it right on the top, right? And don't and you would execute it. I'm not going to, but you'll see the new path there, direct to NUGBO. I'm not going to do it, so I'm going to erase it. After NUGBO, we'll climb up to 32,000 feet. So we're in VNAV. So it's not going to execute a climb until after NUGBO. So even if I have it in flight level 320, it still says LNAV and VNAV path, which means we're going to be level here 4,000 until NUGBO. If I put in data, or I don't have to do it on this actually. So it says NUGBO at 4,000, and right here, 4,000 feet, and the magenta meaning we got to be there at 4,000. Recycle the heading bug. Yeah, man, of course. So we got about 3 nautical miles till NUGBO, then the airplane's going to start a climb up to flight level 320 because there's no further restrictions on here. And these altitudes and speeds are just what's calculating via what the VNAV path is coming up with. So watch this. As soon as we cross NUGBO, there it is. Now it says LNAV and VNAV speed. So it's starting a climb now. It's going to maintain this speed, 250, all the way up to 10,000, because we have that selected in here. 250, restricted below 10. Then it's going to increase to 306 knots for the climb above 10,000. So look at that. So we're even derated, meaning we've tricked the engines of the airplane into producing a takeoff thrust. So we just crossed, we just crossed 6,000, so that was our transition altitude. Standard is set now. Out of England's transition altitude is 6,000, meaning above that, all altitudes that we use are now in pressure altitude. So if I deleted the D rate, if I went into here and deleted it, right here, if I selected climb, that means this airplane's going to really climb. Because this thing's derated at 88.7, climb 2, and it's still climbing out real quick. Look at that, 10,000, now it's increasing to 306. So if I wanted to climb out really fast and have some fun, so you see how it says, let's see, climb 2 is 92.2, and you'll see that right here. Slowly increasing. But if I delete the climb 2 and go directly to climb 1, it increases to 94.9. And that's the climb, that'll be the climb power setting, and it'll slowly increase as we climb. But what I was talking about earlier with the D rate is you're tricking the engines into thinking it's actually hotter outside than it really is. So you put in a hotter temperature and it'll give you a lower thrust setting for a takeoff, and that's just to reduce wear and tear on the engines over time. Pretty much every takeoff you'll ever do at the airlines, it'll be a D-rated takeoff, minus a couple of exceptions. Airports that have very short runways, or you're very heavy and the runway's relatively short, you might do a, on the 7-3 for example, you might do a bleeds off takeoff. Give you a little bit of extra thrust for the takeoff, but we don't need it in this airplane because these GE90s are so overpowered that, and for such a short flight, it doesn't really matter. But a lot of U.S. companies they don't turn their landing lights off till 18,000 because that's our transition altitude, and the US is 18. So there's 18. Now we turn off our lights. A lot of the foreign carriers, they'll do it at 10, but most US carriers will turn it on and off at 18.
Luton traffic, November 7379, departing runway 25, Luton traffic.
I'm still going to fly the econ speeds. There's no reason to fly any faster than that. Because our top of descent is coming up in 146 nautical miles. It's going to be at 0915 Zulu. Current time now is 0854. So it comes up pretty fast. Throw in the air there. If you wanted to take a look at the pressurization or the temperatures in the back, if we had certain cargo that were like animals, for example, that needed to be in a temperature controlled environment, that's where we would see the details here, and we'd adjust as necessary throughout the flight to make sure it's not too hot with these controls up here. There's the lower cargo and the main deck cargo temperature. Like a couple of weeks ago I jump seated on Kalita, and they had a bunch of dogs down in the cargo. So it was really important to make sure that we maintained a good temperature down there for them. But cabin altitude is 3,800. We're at 25,800, but pressurization is working nice and normal. Reset this heading. And once we get into the leveling off phase at 32,000, usually at 31, as we're climbing, this will transition to VNAV altitude, or VNAV ALT, and that'll now maintain the altitude, the cruise altitude that we've selected here in cruise, flight level 320, until it's calculated a nice stable 3-degree descent. 3 to 4 degree descent down on the arrival. In the arrival that we're going to do is different. We're actually going to brief it here in a second. So once we level off, we'll brief the star into Dublin. So, okay, it's a little early, so you see LNAV and VNAV path. Speed, LNAV, VNAV path. So it's 31 for 32. Get a visual indicator that we're 900 feet away from our target altitude. So the airplane's going to level off here, as you'll see. There it is. Current weather right now in Dublin is let's actually show you guys. So I want to go to COM, see if I can request the ATIS on here. ATC. Sorry, flight information, ATIS request, and we'll go Echo India Delta Whiskey, that's the Dublin airport code, throw that in there, VATSIM, send, and it should So it's sending, now it's sent, it's going to come back with an ATIS. Or it should anyway. See if it actually happens. Okay, so Dublin, Ireland, we have the arrival that we're doing from our ABLIN. Look at any applicable notes that may apply for with us. Transition level by ATC, so that you hear that. I don't know if you guys heard that ding. It says COM, means we have our ATIS now probably. So new messages. Here it is. ATIS echo is current for Dublin. Surface wind 240 degrees 7 knots. A variable between 200 and 280 degrees. Visibility 9999. It's at or above 6 kilometers. Clouds few at 1,600, broken 2,500. Temperature 18 dew point 14. QNH 1012. And I'm gonna throw that in here. Not gonna transition over because we're still above our transition level. Let's go ahead and brief this. Alright, ABLIN between 15 and 18. Urcom at or above 9. LIPGO at max 240. Peacock at 7,000. SIVNA at 7, max 220. Sugod the same. DW704 is the same. DW705 is the same. DW706 is the same. And then Pisa 220, 3,000. I don't know what that noise was. We can delete this, we don't need that anymore. Alright, max 250 at or below 10,000 vertical planning information. Pilots must inform ATC if unable to comply with any level or speed constraint. Actual descent clearance will be as directed by ATC. JIPWIZ terrain alert may be encountered by aircraft which are exceeding the standard speed restrictions while at or below 5,000 in the vicinity of south of Dublin Airport. Okay, copy that. Good to know. But now we verify everything. What happened here? Hold on, there's an error that's occurred, and let me bring the vPilot client back up. Reconnect. Okay, we're back on there. I'm not sure what that was. Highest obstacle is going to be west of Soren. It's going to be west. We're going to be over the water for the whole thing, so it's going to be no factor. 4,000 feet is the minimum safe altitude, and verifying here, PF would make sure that all the fixes are ABLIN between 18 and 15, Urcom at above 9. LIPGO, Peacock, SIVNA, 227, same all the way down. So you got DW704 is the same, DW705, DW706 same. Pisa 220 at or above 3. So that's all briefed for the arrival. Now we brief the ILS approach. So bring up the approach, ILS 28 left. Make sure the fixes in here are accurate. So from Pisa, or Pisa, so 220 above 3, lap mode 220 above 3, maxiv 170, 2500, that's our final approach, Chris, 3 degree path, Janet at 200, no more than 200 knots at or below 3, DW034 at or below 3, 200, Dublin VOR 200 at or below 3, hold, or we don't check that actually, but radial, 111.35, 278. Which that matches in here. So Dublin, Ireland, ILS 2A left, page 11-4, dated April of 18th, 2025. Localizer identifier IDW, frequency 11135, 100 parse course is 078, max sev at 2500 with an ILS DA of 402. So I'm going to plug that in here, 402. There it is. Barrow 402 is set. Touchdown zone elevation 202 feet. Minimum safe altitude 4,000. We talked about that. ILS DME reads 0 at the threshold of 28 left. Okay. Motorway running almost parallel with 28 left, which is 0.6 nautical miles south of the runway. That is good to know, right? Because you don't want to mistake the motorway for the runway. Transition altitude or level is going to be 7,000 assigned by ATC. So Pisa 220, 3,000, then Lapmo max 210, 3,000, max of 2,500. That's our final approach fix. 3-degree path down to the DA of 402. We need at least 550 meters for the approach. We'll be using autopilot, so we can use that. It has to be up to 750 if we don't use the autopilot or flight director or the HUD. PAPIs. Got PAPIs on both sides of the runway, left and the right. High ALS2 approach lighting system. Go around. Did talk about that. Janet. Max 200, 3,000. DW034, 3,200 as well. Dublin, 3,200. Highest obstacle is south of the airport at 1938. Should be no factor. It will be well north of that. And that's it for the approach. Now we'll brief the taxi, or how much runway here we have. So we're going to land on 28 left. So we have touchdown zone available 7680. 7,680 feet. And airport briefing, is there any crazy notes on here that we need to know of? 250 below 10, 210 between holding fix and the initial fix, or intermediate fix. Let me just double check on that one. So 210 between holding fix and intermediate fix. Okay, that's fine. And then 180 between intermediate fix and the final approach point. $160 between the final approach point to 4 DME. Sounds good. We can do that. No problem. Here's a parking stand. We're going to stand 614. So we're gonna make a right. Plan on making a right turn off of the runway. Right turn Sierra 5 probably, or Sierra 6, then Sierra. Left turn on Whiskey 2 to the west apron. And our parking spot is going to be right here. Here's the west apron, so Whiskey Sierra all the way to stand 614 Charlie. That's all I got. Reference, radar minimum, let's see. Minimum vectoring altitude for us is not going to be a factor since we're going to be over the water for the entire approach. But that's all I got. Bring up the star. Cool. And there's an airplane that's in front of us. And they're going to, they're 2,000 feet above us, and they're going to San Jose, Costa Rica. There they are. That's pretty cool. Edelweiss A350. I think that's what it is. Very nice. So there'll be no factor for us. But now it's the time to start the descent checklist here. So I'm going to bring that up, descent checklist. Get our speeds here. Speeds, so for flaps 25 and flaps 30, our landing speed is 136. We're gonna do a flaps 25 landing. We're gonna throw that in there. We're super light, so it should be no factor. Do a recall here. Okay, descent checklist. Recall checked, notes checked, auto brake. We'll do auto brake 2, how about that? Wait for that to pop up, auto brake 2. Landing data VREF 136, minimums 402, approach briefing completed. Descent checklist complete. I'll set the checklist on that side so we don't forget. And bring the runway and we'll create a ring around it. Fix /5 DME ring /10 DME ring. Okay. Alright, starting our right turn. And now that we're going to be getting the descent here in about 35 miles, as noted on the ND right here. It'll show you on the VNAV page as well. TD at 9:15, 32 nautical miles, so 5 minutes from now. So we're gonna set the altitude to the bottom of the arrival, which happens to be what? 3,000 feet. So we're gonna set that up. Altitude selected to 3K. LNAV and VNAV path still. Recycle the heading. Make sure this is tracking. It still is. Perfect. Stream is still working nicely. And nothing crazy on here. And if you wanted to see if all the fixes that are in the FMC are accurate, you just go to plan mode on here on the EFIS, and you can step down to each fix and it'll center on the ND. So if I keep going all the way down, okay, there's the arrival there, right? You can even zoom in, keep stepping down to each fix. That's all correct. And there's the ring that I created, right? There's a green dashed line around the 5-mile ring and then the 10-mile ring. That's just for situational awareness. Keep stepping down, take a look at the missed approach. It's basically entering that right downwind again. Looks very good to me. So back to legs, back to map. We're about to hit the coastline, but we're about to descend. Not a lot of distance between the Irish coast and the mainland of England. Pretty close, right? It's only like 50 miles, something like that. A lot more terrain up here in the northern part of England, huh? Yeah. Alright, there's our top of descent. You can see the VNAV there coming down. VNAV. So idle, LNAV, VNAV path. Now we're on the descent. I might actually throw in a shortcut. We'll see. But I might throw in a shortcut from LIPGO or SIVNA to LAPMO. Or recycle the heading bug. Or below 18 now, so light's coming on. For us. Max at LIPGO is 240, right? Okay, 10,000 feet. It's changed, 137 now. Alright, I think I might actually go direct from Sivna to Lapmo. Alright, Sivna, Lapmo, throw that below that. That looks good. Activate, execute. What's the altitude at Lapmo? 3,000? Yeah, perfect. Alright, left turn to Lapmo. And that is our transition level. Flight level QNH 1012. set. Approach checklist QNH 1012. Approach checklist complete. We have the localizer identified, IDW. Get the approach chart up. Let's go flaps 1. Open the speed window. Slow to 200. We'll go approach mode. We're 4 for 3. Approach mode, loc and glide slope is armed. Flaps 5. Localizer captured. Dublin traffic, FedEx5220 heavy, 10 mile final, 28 left, Dublin. Glide slope capture, Mr. Approach altitude 3000, set. Gear down. Flaps 15. Flaps 20. Or flaps 25, landing checklist. Has this changed? No. So to 160 till 4 out. Max at 2500. Landing checklist complete. We don't need the terrain radar. Welcome to Dublin, Ireland, everybody. Okay, slow to V target. Thousand airspeed 152, sync rate 850. Dublin traffic, FedEx 5220 heavy, 2 mile final, runway 28 left, Dublin. Autopilot disengaged. $500.
Approaching minimums.
Going outside.
Minimums.
Landing.
Fifty, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Extended. Deployed. We'll take the next one. 60 knots. Auto brake disarm. Take a right turn here on Sierra 5. Pops up. Start our cool down. Clear left and clear right, coming right. Onto Sierra. APU. Left turn on Whiskey 2 and then Whiskey Sierra. Next one is going to be Sierra. Okay. Get Sierra 4 on the right, Sierra 3, then left turn on Sierra. Or, sorry, Whiskey 2. Dublin traffic, FedEx 5220 heavy, clear of runway 28 left, Dublin. Here's Sierra 3, and then Whiskey 2 is next. Alright, clear on the left, looks good. Coming left. Alright, it'll be the next left onto Whiskey Sierra. It's not one of these. Nope. This is 3 suitable. No. Six 14 Charlie. set up the ramp area. Warm-up time complete, or sorry, cool-down time completed. $614 Charlie, here it is. Turn the taxi light off. Shut down too. We'll just do what this guy says, and we'll see if it's right. This guy's gonna park us super close to the tug. Here it is. Park brick set. Parking checklist. Parking brake is set. Shutdown checklist complete. And we'll secure it as well. I said I parked short, but I parked too far ahead.
The boarding requested.
Air stairs coming up. Chocks are set.
Through the boarding starting.
Our ground power AP is coming off. Wasn't a bad landing, right? Pretty good, actually. Welcome to Dublin, Ireland. Alright guys, we'll do the terminating checklist and we'll call it good. ADRs, or secure checklist, sorry. ADRs are off. Sorry, that's already good. So packs, they're auto, so off. Secure checklist complete. That's a wrap. Alright guys, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for joining.